Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Marc Presents. We're visiting today with Amber Harsche. And I want to say, sounds, I want to say A Rose BI at hotmail.com.
Yes,
You're
that
gonna
is
you're
it.
gonna want to you want to get want gonna want to get in touch with Rose and put her in your contacts so that when she emails you back, it doesn't bounce. Amber, we're doing show number 3, and I had asked last show if we could kind of role play me being your potential client, and you can say yay or nay to my convoluted thing, my labyrinth of a financial journey here. That be okay?
Yes, let's go
And
for it.
please do, if you see that my situation is untenable, just let me know. I mean, there's very few people in my situation, so you're not going to lose a lot of clients, I don't think. So I'm going to forego a bunch of stuff about my financial upbringing and all that because I'll do that on some show where I'm talking to myself. My current situation is I bring in about 2,300 a month from Social Security. I bring in 495 from a pension from Stanford because I was there about 13 years.
Okay.
I'll give you time to get your pen and paper.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
I'm a pen and paper guy, having grown up with Abraham Lincoln's father.
Okay, so three
2,300 a month from Social
2,300 from
Security,
Social Security.
495 from pension.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. Last year I got a one-time payment of $300 because I published a poem. But most years, in fact, for decades now, it hasn't been any different than what I just said. I've been on disability since 1990. Now, out of that last year, I spent about $2,000 in my business for the year, and we spent about what did we? I don't know how to word this right, but we lost about 2,000. I could pull up the chart if I could find it, and we spent about 2,000. And we lost about 300 total for the year. So then obviously we made about 300 less than we lost. Uh, I don't have any debt. I don't have any like credit card, house, car. I don't have any of that. Uh, I don't save. I did save at some point in the past a little bit, but last year I wiped out what I had about $5,000 savings last year that I'd had around for a few years, but I went through it somehow last year. So I think I have $17 in my savings right now. And
Okay.
I do find it hard to make it month to month. Um, anyway, that's the biggest part. I was thinking I'd have to pay taxes last year. So I did do my financial chart for the first time in my life. It took me about 4 months to do what most people would do in a weekend, both because I have a really severe learning disability and because I'd never done it before. So, anyway, ask me questions or whatever the next thing is you do for people. Did we start recording? Yes, we did.
Yes, you
Okay.
are recording. So
Scared
my
the
first
hell out of me. Go ahead.
so my first question would be out of that. Oh, hold on. Let me do math here.
This helps the viewers see a real life situation of what it.
So out of the $2,795 you get a month. Um, what would you say is your average cost of, say, like your food?
Okay, now I made a mistake.
Okay.
I really do make a lot of mistakes. The number's not 2300. The number of the Social Security is 2033.
2033. Okay, well that would make a difference. Two
Yeah,
zero
I don't know why
three. No, that's okay. And
at
that
least I
happens.
remembered. At least I remembered before the end of the show. Anyway, oh,
So, when we are starting with somebody, we look at, I would look at you and say, okay, now you're telling me you have, okay, my phone's being weird. Um, so altogether, coming into your household, you have $2,528. So
okay.
then we would look at what are your expenses. So we would break it down like, do you pay rent?
Yes, I really do. Yeah.
How much is your rent?
Okay. It's complicated because I pay rent plus I pay other things. So I pay 12.50 for rent.
Okay.
I I pay and I'm kind of doing this off the top of my head. I pay $147 a month for heat
Okay.
additionally to the, and then I pay $75 a month for groceries with my housemaid. I do other groceries myself. And I think that's it. I think that's it. So whatever that is.
Okay. Do you have a car?
No, I do not. I'm way past been 1,000 years since I drove. I
Do
use
you take,
Lyft. I take Lyft.
how much does that cost you to a month?
Not a lot. I would say about, because I have a program with the city that cuts down the price. So I would say $20 to $40 a month on average.
Okay. I would go with the higher amount just so that
Okay.
I would rather highball things
Yeah, that's
than
that's
lowball
two rides a month, and I don't usually do two, but I do sometimes for the doctor.
things. Okay. So you said $75 a month for groceries? Do you have more than that?
Yeah. That's just the amount that I do with my housemate.
How
My
much do you
housemate,
spend otherwise?
oh boy, probably not 200, but close to 200. So, because I am a very big eater, I eat more than most people eat in 2 days in a day.
Okay.
So
So we'll say
I would
two seven.
say I'd say 175, 180.
Okay.
I really, I'm kind of embarrassed to let people know, except if they're from Ohio, because we all eat big in Ohio. But I eat five my meals a day usually.
You know what? I'm not
That's
gonna
just me.
judge that
That's
because
just me, though. I mean, I love food. It's from my culture. Blah blah blah.
I
Anyway, okay, so there's that.
I come from a German family, so we like food. Um
Yeah,
I like food.
yeah.
I got to have Kuchen yesterday because my husband's grandma made
Oh,
it home. He just
my
turned
my house.
90.
Oh, my housemaid, who is she's really a chef. She doesn't have the license, but she made a 2 pound tri-tip yesterday that was just melt in your mouth gorgeous with a mesquite seasoning. I'm
Okay,
preoccupied with food. I really am. It was divine.
that's
And of course
okay.
we have some left because I can't eat 2 pounds in a day, but
Well, that's okay. Okay, so then groceries, you said roughly about 180. Is that on top of the
yes.
775?
Yes.
Okay. So,
And that also includes non-perishables like I don't know, whatever non-perishables are.
no problem. So you might have some of it around for a while.
Well, yeah, like, but I mean, it's even things like paper clips and stuff. My business expenses get mixed up with I just don't have the capacity to, I've never been a bookkeeper. So I just do it the best I can. I figure if I make enough money someday, I can hire a bookkeeper or we can cancel this company and start over with a real bookkeeper who knows what she's doing.
Well, all
Anyway,
else fails, I might have a suggestion there for you for a gentleman, but
go out back behind the woodshed with
he's
a
he's
green switch.
he's a wonderful man. His name is Nick, but he's very passionate about helping people and he's a very genuine good person. So,
But
um
everybody charges. So
of course. Otherwise,
kind of
so
like, why, how could you? I mean, I try to charge sometimes for my shows, but that's another part of the picture that will talk about eventually. Anyway, go ahead. What
so
else is?
and you don't have a car, so you don't have an expense there. Do you have any other expenses besides rent, heat, groceries, and then your Lyft, like driving Lyft? Like what
Oh,
are your personal like hygiene products? How much do you spend on that a month?
right. Okay. So the hygiene stuff I think is inside the 175.
Okay.
So there's that. But also I have a ridiculously high number of medical copays.
Okay. How much do you
I've
think you
been
spend on that a
I've
month?
been sick all my life, and uh well, I don't pay it. I don't pay very much of it. I pay probably about $100 a month to different groups, little small payments, but there's a lot of other payments that I just can't even start to pay.
Okay.
So there's a lot of outstanding medical debt, like $5,000 or $6,000 or more.
All right.
Some of which, at least half of which, I'm not even trying to pay right now.
Because right now, when I add up the things that you've told me, that's $1,792, which means you have about $736 left over. So
I
there's the
promise.
part where we
I
need to fill the hole. Like, where are you spending
yeah,
it? Are you
yeah.
going,
Where the hell's it going?
are you going
I,
out to eat?
if you weren't such a nice lady, I'd make a joke, but I'm seeing that I need to be more. I went to church enough to know how to behave properly if I have to.
Okay. There's
Maybe I'll
F.
reward myself with a cupcake later or something. I I think maybe I need to just send you my chart that says what I spent money on last year. Because I made a spreadsheet. I made a clumsy, what I'm assuming someone of your refinement would see as a clumsy attempt to list both my personal expenses and my business expenses.
Okay.
And I'll just send those to you in an attachment or whatever, and you can look at them.
Yes, I would love to look at them and see if there is a plan that I could help you put together.
Okay. Because the only other big thing I know is the business. Like I spend a lot of money every month. Like last year, I spent, like I said, $2,000, which is whatever that is for 12 months, on things like notebooks and pens and staplers and paper clips and subscriptions to business websites.
Okay.
So I have LinkedIn, I have Alignable, uh, I can't even list them all without seeing the paper. I have a 4 or 5 AI websites that I subscribe to because I need them in my business. And I have made almost zero amount of money this year. One lady gave me $200 because I've been working with her for a long time. And I think one lady paid me $50 total. So that's about all I've brought in this year. And I spend a high amount of money every month on subscriptions, especially.
Okay. And I suppose without looking at your paper, this is where I'm finding like people have holes, they don't
Yeah,
100% know like their
yeah,
subscriptions that are coming out. Like I know even for myself, until I went through and I canceled them, I had probably over $100 worth of subscriptions coming out of my
yeah.
account, whether it
Oh
be
yeah,
through Apple or my Amazon
yeah.
platform, different
Now
channels.
I did cancel my alignable last year. I was somehow paying two subscriptions. We
Oh
got it
no.
straightened out. Well, it was a mistake I made. It wasn't their mistake. So I took away all that. And then I also canceled my LinkedIn paid subscription.
Okay.
Because I could see, you know, the train is going off the tracks, but I still have a lot of AI stuff like IA Tubo and AI Video and not Copilot. Anyway, a bunch of them that are listed somewhere. And I do pay everything with a credit card, so I do get a listing. I have
Yep.
five accounts. Everybody says we should have one. Yeah, okay, go shoot me or something. I have five accounts. Two of them are banks, and then one of them is or two of them are PayPal's, and one of them is Venmo.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know what else to tell you. That's about all I can tell you about it that I know.
Well, and then my
I
next
wouldn't be
question.
surprised if my food wasn't more than I'm saying, even though. But we can figure it out because I'm on the TikTok shop a lot, buying stuff like fans and T-shirts and socks and whatever's on sale this week. I've spent probably not $1,000, but close on that. And anyway, and I'm
Tick,
on
tick.
Amazon every friggin' week buying everything that they show me pretty much. So,
I can that stuff can add up. I'm guilty of it too. I like
oh God,
Amazon and I like TikTok shop, but I've actually been avoiding those things so that I'm not like if
I
you go look at
probably
my
will. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to avoid them. I some days I'm on TikTok some obscene amount per day. I mean, 6, 8, 12 hours a day. Some days it's obscene. I mean, I have stuff on there too. I have products that I post. But anyway, what else do we?
So the other thing that I would ask is like, do you have a life insurance premium that you're paying? And you said you're not putting anything into savings at all, correct?
Correct. And no, I don't have one. I was going to get one with my sister.
Okay.
My sister as a beneficiary, but she said, no, don't bother. She's an odd duck like me, only odd in a different way. So she didn't want me to get one that she would, because I thought, because I was for many years, probably 10 or even maybe 20, and I don't do it now, but I was giving her about $110 a month to just help her because she gets even less than I do. Our whole family's been homeless more times than I can count. So
Oh,
anyway, yeah. So, but I don't do that anymore. So I don't know where it goes. I just have a very strange relationship with money. It's like an ugly clown, or something. I just don't.
do, so do you feel like the minute that you have it, it's like burning a hole in your pocket and you just like long.
Very extremely much.
So growing up, did you feel like was it because in your household you guys had I know that you said that you grew up in Oklahoma, no,
Ohio.
Ohio, and you lived on the farm, right?
Yeah, a little farm, a 2/3 acre farm with 100 chickens and a pony and two
And
dogs
your
and
dad was
parakeet.
like a hobby. farmer, right? He,
31 cats. Yeah, he was like a hobby farmer because he worked at the Ford plant full time.
yep, okay,
And then
blue collar family.
she would rototiller a little bit of the land, and then my stepmom would make like canned tomatoes and grapes and green beans, stuff like that.
Was it a very, was dad very, very tight with money, or did he spend money too?
No, but we kids were not taught absolutely anything about money. Nothing
Okay.
at all. Absolutely nothing. And when I was 19, my parents went to my savings because I had been working since I was 15, mowing lawns. And they went to my savings and took it out, took my passbook, took the money out, and bought me a car. But
Mhm.
I mean, you can see the way that worked. I didn't have any say in the money. I didn't have any say in what car and so I didn't learn anything about money until 25, probably. And then by then I didn't know. I don't know if that answers your question.
Kind of does. It sounds like there where your parents didn't really teach you the the dynamics of money and saving and that kind of stuff. And there proves my point, like how important it is to start out while they're young so they
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
having this
yeah,
money. And actually, that's even something that I've started like with my own kids. Like when they get money for like Christmas, birthday, that kind of thing, I will let them have most of it, but we are taking a certain percentage of it, and we will be once they have about $100 altogether like saved up, we will be opening high yield savings accounts for each one of them so that we can put a
very
little
nice.
bit of that money away,
Good.
and give them a little nest egg. My
Right.
parents did talk about saving, but I also think that I saw this like instant gratification in a way of spending money. A lot of people link it to like endorphins, if that
Yeah. Oh,
right?
I
Like
wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
this huge like rush. Oh yes, I'm buying, I'm treating myself
Yes.
something.
Yes.
And even spending sometimes is tied to childhood trauma. Even it's like a coping mechanism, and
Yeah.
I think that that's the case for me.
Yeah, I have a huge amount of trauma. I had things happen to me where my doctors have said we cannot. Several of my doctors over the years, independent of each other, have said we cannot figure out why you're still alive. There was that
Oh,
much abuse. So yeah,
well, I am sorry to hear that, but I'm happy you're here.
and I love chocolate.
Oh, well, chocolate is very good. I don't know if you like
I don't like dark chocolate, even though it's better for me. I'm from Ohio, and that's really close to Pennsylvania, which has what chocolate company in it? Hershey's, Pennsylvania.
oh, yes, okay.
That's a
I
company
completely understand.
town.
So for your case, Mark, I would want to dive more in depth, look at that chart that you have. And we actually, like when I meet with people, I give them a little sheet that gives them like a breakdown of the things that we're going to be talking about so that they can kind of have that all together when we look at their budget. It has, gathering like their retirement statements, their life insurance statements, their bills, whether it be like their credit card statement. Because when we're looking at things, we want to look at your budget as a whole and completely understand where everything is going. Um,
Okay. I
write
used
down.
to have a I used to have a person. Uh they have a in California they have a name for it, but it's a person that's appointed, I think, by the state or somebody to manage your finances. Because I
Okay.
have mental illness and I had a person like that for decades, and then finally was able to talk the court out of it because I just, I used to live on, I used to not have, before my pension came in, which was started at 65. I used to just go to the food bank at the beginning of the month, and then I would take whatever I got from the food bank and I'd make a big pot of soup, like a 45-quart thing. And I turned my refrigerator into a freezer. Tell you how I did that someday. And I would just eat that for the month because I hadn't been in a grocery store. I remember when I first went back into a Safeway after about 15 years. It was a very strange feeling, but I don't know. I don't know why that's pertinent. I don't even know, but anyway.
Yeah, but those
So you,
those things are pertinent because it's something that has left like a lasting memory on you. Um,
I love having my situation now because my housemate, she makes the most divine stuff. I'm telling you. Anyway, so
well,
so I'll
I'm
send you the charts
okay.
and then you'll tell me what to do next, right?
Yes, I will look and sort through your stuff and see what kind of plan we can come up with for you.
I wish I could pay you some hourly for what you're doing, but I just don't.
No.
I don't know. Anyway. All right. Thank you for helping, folks. I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you, Amber, for your kindness. But you folks can see that Amber, even with somebody like me, is not just, you know, I forget what the phrase is I want, but I've had a lot of fintech people on, and I haven't asked any of them to do this because I can tell by the way they language everything that, they pretty much want you to buy what I lovingly call an IUD. I can never remember what the initials stand for. Index.
Indexed universal life insurance policy.
Yeah, that thing. All right, folks, we love you dearly. I'm going to talk Amber into coming on again within the next 3,000 millennia. And we'll see you later. Let me try to
Bye.
let me try to turn this thing off here. We didn't give your thing enough, did we?
Um,
A
a
arosebi dot at hotmail. So
com. Yep.
okay,
arosebi at hotmail.com.
very cool. Okay.